In the quiet of her living room, Joyce LaPorte sews together pieces of buckskin, then stuffs them to make a simple figurine. This is the Ojibwe Faceless Doll. I visited Joyce to learn more about this traditional craft.
I make the Ojibwe Faceless Dolls. I've done the small, child size, the 6-inch warrior mom, and even a pregnant one. And then I do the 18-inch ones, but those are mostly go to museums.
How long have you been making the Faceless Dolls?
Since 1982, because I learned that I was going to have my first granddaughter. So the grandmas are the makers of the dolls to teach the young ones how to use the needle. I do it on buckskin, deer hide, and I do it on the split. I make the body out of the split hide because I learned that if I did it from the regular hide, it has too much stretch in it, and then you don't get a uniform doll. It's kind of like distorted. And when I first started making them, I stuffed them with cattail, but now I have to use buffalo hair because I have health problems now and I can't get out into the swamps and gather the cattail. So I just had to figure out something that was just as soft as the cattail, and I chose the buffalo hair. And then I dress the doll and put horsehair on their heads, and then just decorate it with it, give them a little pouch or a bag or a drum if I'm doing the little men. If I work steady on it, I can sew the doll in 3 hours, and then by the time they're dressed and they have their hair and everything, it's probably closer to 8 that it takes me. The 18-inch ones will probably take me a week or more to make one of them.
Joyce, can you tell me who taught you how to make the Faceless Dolls? I know you touched about it earlier.
Yeah, my grandma. And my grandma was born on Madeline Island. She taught me and my cousin at the same time. And we asked her why it didn't have a face on it. And we lived up on top of the hill, and then there was a creek that ran around the house, around the hill. So she took us by the hand and walked us down there, and she knelt by the creek, and she said she looked into the creek, and we did too, because we were only 5. And we asked her why there was no faces, and she says, well, whose face should I take from the water spirits? And we had already known that legend, because she had told it to us, that that's the only place your image is supposed to be, is in the water.
You have some of your bigger dolls held at museums. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, I have them locally. I have them at Madeline Island, the Mille Lacs Museum, the Historical Center down in St. Paul, here in Minnesota, and also in Washington, D.C. at the Native Smithsonian. When I first got there to Washington, it was such a square city. There were so many square buildings. But when I rounded the corner to go to the Native Smithsonian, it almost brought tears to my eyes, because I seen it was the only rounded building that there was. It seemed like in the whole city. And I just thought, the wind spirits are free. Because they seem trapped in all those square buildings. And it was a beautiful, beautiful building. I submitted 2, a man and a lady, and they were dressed, just the way I do with the split buckskin body, the traditional buckskin for the clothing. And I gave the lady a little pouch and the man a little drum to, signify that they are Ojibwe people. When I work on a doll, it's very calming. It's to keep my grandmother alive in my life, because when I do make the dolls, I think about her. I think about her little fingers, because she was a tiny woman, and she was just always doing something, always telling us a story, always creating something, and it just keeps her alive in my mind. To me, it's my grandmother speaking to me through that doll.